Okay, so Ellie writes, Dear Emily and Katie, I'm in the middle of a career transition and I am dealing with issues of self-confidence and competence.
Mm.
I don't remember ever struggling this much with this stuff. I hear that. I went to law school and had a successful legal career, but it wasn't working for me, so I made the decision to leave the practice of law. Congratulations. I was always confident in my abilities to figure things out and get things done. But since I left law, I have struggled with feeling confident in my ability to land on my feet and feeling empowered to take action and bring about the change I want in my life. It's created a dissonance. On one hand, I look at my past and I do feel proud and confident. But when I look to the future, I can feel lost and powerless. It's like I hit a wall that I didn't see coming. Do you have any strategies or suggestions for how to build self confidence while navigating a mid career transition? Ellie, thank you for submitting this question and
Yeah.
being so vulnerable and sharing what it is you're feeling. And I use the word vulnerability positively because to be vulnerable is also to be courageous. So thank you for being courageous with us today. Emily,
Amen.
what did you hear?
What
Yeah,
came up for me first is like, me too, Ellie.
yes.
Me too. That was honestly my reaction. Proud of the past. It's so, God, the past is so subject to subjectivity, right? Of like the story
Mm,
up, it changes the more we tell it, that can always have a nuance. And being proud, I think, is such a great choice of like all the things that Ellie has been through. And then having this experience of like, you know, I'm scared because the unknown, this feeling is unknown to me. And ooh, here's one thing, and then I'll pass to you, of just being really excited for Ellie to be challenged in this way and to be vulnerable through that challenge. And I know Ellie's like, okay, strategies and suggestions, which is honestly why Katie's here. I feel like I'm the cloud and Katie is the rainbow between the clouds. Like, this is the bridge. I also have strategies to share, of course, but I just want to first be like, me too, Ellie. And yeah, let's talk about the future. So yeah, that's what comes up for me is like, you want to be friends?
absolutely. And I think this is something that comes up, not I think, I know this is something that comes up for women all the time. We believe we're the only ones because we're the only ones in the room. We're the only ones on the team. Whatever we're experiencing as women, we must also be the only one having this experience. And to Ellie, I would just share it's not just Emily, it's not just me. It's everyone.
Mhm.
And especially for someone who came up and built such strength and such a valuable skill set in the law, you had a pretty prescriptive path to get there, right? It was undergraduate, LSATs, law school. You do the associate internships. You're doing well as an associate, and then you move your way up. It's not that you don't have a place to head to, but it's not having that same concrete path that you were able to walk through and experience such success. And so, when you say you feel like you've hit a brick wall, what comes up for me is it a brick wall that's getting in the way, or is it just the not knowing? And so, if we can get you to stand in who you are 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 7 years from now, and imagine those possibilities, we can build a path to any of those possibilities together. But some of it is determining what is the becoming a lawyer for you now, and then how are we constructing that path together?
And can the bricks be yellow also on this
Uh,
road?
the, the bricks can be
Duh.
any color, but yes.
I love it. God, I had such an aha moment of like, you just don't, there can be a plan constructed for anything at any time. And
Mhm.
there are plans that are, for better, for worse, and I would say for worse, rubber stamped, right? Like, this is how you become this. This is how you become that. This is how you become that. Lawyer, teacher, therapist, right? There's just paths to follow. I relate so much to you, Ellie, because I was in public relations for a long time, and there was a very definitive path in those agencies. Any sort of service provider, right? Like, you're like, I'll be the this thing, then the senior of that thing, then the VP of that thing, then the SVP of that thing, right? And so I think this is where my excitement comes for the future, and the fear on the other side of that excitement is like, but like, who, part of what I want you to ask is not so much like, how do you do that, but who are you going to do it with?
Mhm.
So I was on a guest on a podcast today called The Brainy Moms. Stay tuned for the episode dropping, who knows when. But apparently there's a book called Who versus How, or Who, I'm going to say something. Yeah.
Ooh.
But like the who being really the most important thing,
Mhm.
and how you get there. I mean, Katie and I would probably give you similar strategies and suggestions, but everyone has. I mean, there's a lot of different ways. I think this gets into, for me, Katie, you mentioned, you didn't mention this, but what was coming up as you were talking is resilience. And who do you want to go through this process with to keep your mojo? What did she say about her not being able to find your footing?
Mhm. Feeling
And
lost and powerless.
yeah, and feeling confident, feeling grounded, feeling rooted, all those things. So yeah, my question alongside with like constructing the bricks for the future state is really like, don't do that alone. Who are you going to do it with?
And it should be the people that make you feel confident, that make you feel powerful, that make you feel a belief in yourself that you
Mhm.
can't feel right now. And I know there are people in my life who do that for me. Like, what do you mean you don't believe in yourself right now? You're Katie O'Malley. Oh,
Yep.
this does, and I'm like, I need you. I need you to believe in me until I get that back for myself. And it's not going to be the naysayers.
Mhm.
There are people that kept me out of my brilliance and power for so long because I let them question my brilliance. And I don't know what's happening for you externally, but if you're feeling this way internally, I would say look around and who has you questioning that brilliance, that sense of power, that sense of pride,
Mhm.
because there are ideas that I've had and places I've wanted to take myself in the past where I could be a multimillionaire, but was told by an ex-partner, what a stupid idea.
Mhm.
Right now, I would encourage you to put those folks on silent in your life, evict them from your heart and mind because they're not going to serve you on the path that you're building to where you want to go. And so, my absolute favorite part of my role as a coach is helping people imagine possibilities. My second favorite part is establishing the plan to get there. And so, writing, and this is something I'm doing right now. I'm part of the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program. And they last week had us write a vision statement, and not a typical vision statement for what our companies aspire to do, but a vision statement for ourselves. And starting with the statement, the phrase I am. So 5 years from now, Ellie, I am what? With whom? Doing what? Where am I doing it? How am I doing it? And it's not even thinking about, is this possible? It's about what you want 5 years from now. And once you have that down, the path becomes really clear.
I love that. What are the possibilities, and how do we then plan for them? And I'm sort of latching on to this part about being mid-career and struggling now, though I always was confident in my abilities to figure things out and get things done. I just want to normalize. I feel like we should call me normal. If my name was Nancy, we'd call me Normalizing Nancy, because I really do believe in like common humanity, and like we all, like you said, we led with this. We all go through this. I want to normalize auditing your life. I want to normalize like stopping and reflecting. That's part of what we want to do with you, Ellie, and for anyone listening is like, create the space to remember, right? Figuring things out, getting things done. You can do this. How have you done it? How did you get here? You know? And then as Katie or I, if we worked with you, would ideate, like, where do you want to go? What is that vision? And then as you articulate that vision, I would ask you, like, well, how did you get there? Right? So this is metacognition, classic metacognition. We love doing this stuff, like thinking about how we think, thinking about how we think. And that's the part. When I say you can't know yourself by yourself, you can't, because we're just stuck in here, frankly, all day, which is why I need Katie and Todd, our producer, and everybody else. So that would be something else in addition, right? It's like you're talking about, Katie, building the bricks. So thinking about the possibilities, step one. Building the pathway to those possibilities. So what are the steps? And then then we talk about the who, right? Like putting people on silent, leaving them on red, whenever you want it to be. Do not disturb. And then being really careful about the who of you bring in as you're exploring these things. That's where we're sort of most vulnerable, right? Is like, I'm going to try something new. I'm going to again figure out how to get things done. I'm going to again do this because I've done it before. It might look different. Who are my people for like this stretch? And you're going to know based on the people who are like, I'm right here. This is great. Yeah, do it. That doesn't mean that we're going to gas you up without, offering caution or offering like advice if you ask for it. But quite frankly, we trust you, Ellie.
Yes.
We trust you. You got to trust you, but we trust you. Right?
You did one of the most hardest things there is to do, which is become a lawyer. And then you did something that's even more difficult, which is to leave the thing you wanted to do. And that takes so much courage to say, you know what? It worked then. It's not working now. And there are so many folks, Ellie, who stay stuck in what they've been doing because the prospect of whether you want to think about it as sunk cost or the fallacy of sunk cost, just will spend the next 20, 30, 40 years doing what they've always done because somehow that's less scary. And you made the more courageous choice here. And I want you to remember that on those days when you're feeling like you don't have your footing and you don't feel confident. You made one of the most courageous decisions there is to make, and you did it for yourself because you knew what was wrong for you. If you knew what was wrong for you, you're going to know what's right for you. But like Emily said, you need that time and space and the right people supporting you in that.
That's it. I mean, that's it. I've got nothing else. So beautifully said, so well punctuated. And it makes me, Katie, feel like it just makes me want to be in a room with Ellie and all the other Ellies and just see what happens, and we get that opportunity to do that kind of work regularly. But I don't know. I feel for this. I feel for her and I'm with her, like we got this. We can do this. Oh, beautiful. Well, look, Ellie and all of your friends who are listening to our response to your question, because we know you're sharing it on social, like, check it out. I was on Ask Us Anything with Katie and Emily. They picked my question. You friends can write us too, or text us or call us. We're on LinkedIn. We get messages all the time there. Instagram at Who's Missing Podcast. You can email us anytime, but I think Instagram and also our website, who'smissingpodcast.com/ask us anything. Those are the two places. Drop a question and you may be the next person we get to be in conversation with and probably want to be friends with after, because that's how we do business. So write us about your leadership questions, your career questions, and anything in between. We're also available on Google Voice, so we'll make sure that you have that phone number too. And follow the pod if you're not already, won't you please? 5-star ratings and reviews. We love them. We love them. And that's a wrap.